What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
And good woo to you too. Hey, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live, Sunday morning edition. And you know what? I think we've got a pretty good one, something a little bit different. Going to dive on in, as you can tell from the thumbnail within, to see what Pro Football Focus had to say about all those different grades, different players that performed, things like that. Let's have a little bit of a conversation about it. Before we get into all that, though, we got 5 headlines now. We got news and notes from everybody else in the NFC North that played yesterday, how they do. Probably most of you have paid a little bit of attention to it, maybe even watched some of those games. We'll dive into all that. But before we do, as you know, unless you're new to the channel, hey, in case you were unaware, if you're looking to buy or sell property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, I am a realtor. Give me a call. Shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. Let's have a conversation, see what I can do to save you some money, make the process of either buying commercial property for your new business, new home for you. Maybe you're looking to upsize, downsize, whatever it is. Go ahead and give me a call. If you're looking for just vacant land, you can also contact me. If you're outside of the state of Michigan, you still give me a call, shoot me a text. Got to do some things a little bit differently, but let's see what we can do to make the process of buying new property a whole lot easier for you. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into it. And without further ado, let's get this show going and get into our first segment of the day, and that is 5 headlines now. All right, 5 headlines now. Let's get them going. Lions, in case you wanted a little something to read on your Sunday and you're doing something leisurely today, Lions 53-man roster predictions after Detroit's first preseason game. Lions Wire, hey, friend of the show, Jeff Risden, he's been on a time or two. Go ahead and check out Def Jeff's newest updated predictions as we are starting to get a little bit closer to the regular season. Let's keep in mind, we're under 1 month away until we play games that matter. So you're going to see a lot more of these predictions coming out either in print media, online media, YouTube media, whatever it is. You're going to see a lot of people speculating on who will make the Lions 53-man roster. All right, Detroit Lions 2024 record prediction. This is from Stadium Rant. So I think they did a fairly decent job with this. There's a couple things I would have questioned a little bit differently, but hey, that's part of having an opinion. Everybody's going to have their own and take it in a different direction. Right now, let me ask everybody watching the show in the Duke Crew comments, what do you think the Lions' realistic record opportunity is going to be this year? I'm still sticking to a 13-win season, but let's see what you guys have to say. I like a lot of things about this team. I was really encouraged by some of the growth and development and, more importantly to me, what the coaches were doing with some of that talent, putting them in some adverse situation. We'll talk about that throughout the grades, but that's a little segue into that. All right, Detroit Lions projection, offense, CBS Sports. So this is going to be more about CBS Sports breaking down the potential for the Detroit Lions offense in a number standpoint. How many yards rushing? How many yards passing? Who's this guy going to do or produce? What's this guy going to produce, etc. They do a little bit of a deep dive. Check out that story if you'd like, but a deep dive into the Lions numbers. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. If you're going to check it out, it's pretty good if you're a Lions fan. At least I would think so. Lions add another quarterback. Will the Lions add another quarterback? This is from the Detroit News. They do we talked about it yesterday on the morning show. I'm going to guess most fans, maybe not all, but most fans do feel like Nate Sudfeld, unless that dude really has a breakout performance next weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, he's probably on borrowed time as far as the Lions fandom is concerned, him being in the Detroit Lions and definitely taking up a roster spot. Could it be they signed somebody else? Yes. Have there been other channels or other people in the media speculating who it should be? Absolutely, and that's going to continue being around. My personal opinion, I shared it yesterday, but just to reiterate it, I do think you're not getting anybody signed until 1 week from the start of the regular season. I guess there could be some chance that right before the final preseason game, but anybody worth their salt who's a veteran quarterback, who's got some real abilities, they're probably waiting until all the preseason games are concluded, because if somebody does get hurt, your phone might be lighting up with calls, hey, saying you could be the starting quarterback here. All you got to do is sign. So we'll wait and see on that. All right, and then the last of the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions signed former Ohio State offensive lineman Jamarco Jones. Detroit Free Press. A couple of you guys sent this over to me yesterday. It was, I don't remember, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, and I was like, I'll save it for the morning show. But yeah, I get this guy's got a bit of a hot temper. I get he's done some things to actually get booted off a few teams. I want to say the Tennessee Titans got rid of him because he did have, some temper issues. Could it be that with MCDC and the boys, they actually get him galvanized and, right the ship? He does have some talent. I'm not going to say he's going to be a starter or anything for the Detroit Lions, but from a depth perspective, Jones does offer you some solid backup depth at tackle. Now, with that also being said, when we talk about the grades today, some of the backup tackles actually graded out fairly well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. And can he keep his head cool a little bit in Lions practices, etc.? All right, with the 5 headlines out of the way, let's go ahead and get over to our next segment of the day, and that will be NFC North news and notes. So let's get it going. I do think, and you guys let me know, but I really like some of the beats that we have for some of these little segments. Not that that's here or there, but I do kind of like them. All right, let's go ahead. Vikings McCarthy, JJ himself, throws interception, 2 touchdowns in preseason debut for, 24-23 win over the Raiders. AP Wire story by Dave Campbell. No relation to Dan Campbell, by the way. At least I am told that. So I think everybody who's living in Michigan probably has some familiarity with JJ McCarthy. Yes, he's going to be playing against the Lions. If you guys watched it, what did you think of it? I actually thought he did fairly well. I was on record saying when the draft came, I was not sold on JJ McCarthy. I think some of his reads, his accuracy, I thought he would have been a fairly good 2nd and 3rd round pick, maybe a late 1st round pick, where some of the teams trade up so they can get the 5th-year option. Obviously, I am not I'm not going to say that, I'm overly impressed with him yet, but I will say this. JJ did look well from what I watched, which was limited yesterday. I thought he did make some nice reads. So I hope he proves me wrong. He seems like a super nice person. Seems like he's got a great work ethic. I hope he does do better than expected for him, but it obviously falls on his face every time he plays the Detroit Lions. All right, Jordan Love throws long TD pass on Green Bay's 3rd play. Packers beat Browns 23-10. AP News, story by Tom Withers. So Jordan Love continues to show that he might just be, in actuality, the 4th straight real legitimate Packers quarterback that come out. And then just kudos to the Packers organization. If they do pull this off, they really should have a deep dive study of what Green Bay is doing since the mid-1980s, maybe the late 80s when Don Majkowski took over for them. I think a lot of times the Magic Man gets forgotten when people talk about Green Bay Packer lore and the renaissance of the franchise, etc. Most people start naming Brett Favre, but Don Majkowski, to be fair, was there first, and he was not bad. He might not be a Hall of Famer, but he was a pretty good quarterback. Jordan Love does seem like he's going to be a problem for the Detroit Lions to endure for years to come. We'll have to wait and see, but I think we've got some good potential to help slow him down a little bit for the foreseeable future. All right, last of the NFC North news and notes, Bears versus Bills, everything we know about Chicago's preseason win. So if you guys did watch it, this is probably not huge news to you guys. Caleb Williams did struggle a little bit early, about, I don't know, we'll say like 6 or 5 minutes left in the first quarter. He did kind of turn things around, got some things going. To me, I still see a lot of USC Williams out there, and which it should be expected. I mean, this was his first live action. He's still going to have some, I think, learning opportunities, just like JJ will, Jordan Love will, when it comes to live regular season matchups, because you could see with all the vanilla defenses they were throwing at him, and these are just base level NFL style defenses, and still I thought Williams did have some opportunities to make some big errors. So we'll have to pay attention as Lions fans, see what we can figure out as far as his strengths and weaknesses, and go from there. All right, without further ado, let's get to now the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day, we've got some grades from Pro Football Focus, as you guys could tell from the thumbnail for this video. So let's not waste too much time. Let's go through it. We're going to start with it and get into it. So top 5 Pro Football Focus offensive grades for the Detroit Lions. Duke Clements, probably no big surprise here. The backup center to Frank Ragnow had a 90 overall score. That's pretty dang good. And I think, I don't think there's any chance the Lions trade him or whatever, but he is a sound backup for this team. Could they move him to backup guard? It's possible. I think when you watch the tape, when you watch the film, stuff like I can't always watch when I'm doing the play-by-play. There are things you're focused on that are different at that point. But if you go back and watch a little bit of the coaching film of the All 32 film, you can see he's not a problem for the Detroit Lions. He grades out real well, and obviously this supports that. That when you watch him play, he was doing very, very well. All right, right tackle, Dan Skipper, just a shade behind at 89. So we were talking about bringing in Jones as a tackle option. You're going to see why in a second here, because Connor Galvin, who's probably going to be out for the vast majority of the season, he had a very, very good score, 79.5. And unfortunately, like I said, he's probably going to be out for a significant amount of time. So I get why the Lions are going to bring him in as far as Jones to try to compete or take over potentially that spot. But right there, you got some offensive linemen that showed out very well. But what you're also seeing, and I know we talked about it all last week when I gave my thoughts on the biggest issues I was seeing or worries for the Detroit Lions, where none of the guards are in here. So the guys controlling the A gap, B gap, and C gap on the running side of things, you don't see any of those scores up there. And I think a lot of it is supportive of what you could see from the joint practices with the Giants, and then obviously the preseason game with the Giants. We've got some issues with the guard position, and these scores are supporting that. All right, Sion Vaki came in next, running back, 76.1. And then Parker Hess, I get this guy is getting a lot of steam from Lions fans and the coaching staff. There's a real legit chance this guy makes the roster as the third tight end on the group, but Parker Hess got a straight 70 across the board. Now, let's go into the bottom 5 grades. And not a big surprise here if you're a Lions fan, but if you are shocked, let me know in the comments section. Nate, the not-so-great Sudfeld, lowest grade out there, 30. Man, I was actually surprised it was this high. 38.1. Giovanni Manu, not a stunner here, 43.7. Hey, he had some good things about him, but you could see where there's a lot of stuff he's got to get mechanically down, and he's making such a massive jump. These preseason games, in my opinion, are built for players like him that just need repetitions. And he's probably facing better overall competition here in these preseason games than what he faced in college. So, I mean, I could be wrong with that overall, but I do think that's, from what I could tell, I think that's accurate. All right, running back, Jameer Jefferson is 45.4. Tom Kennedy, another favorite of a lot of people, 46.5, and Ike Bolgetter, 46.6. So again, talking about the guard position, he's the only guard in there, high or low. And for someone who's been a starter in this league, multiple different games, a couple different teams, not a consistent starter, but he has at times started. I was a little surprised and disappointed with his grade and performance. The Lions do need to shore up the backup guard positions, in my humble opinion. And so far, the data all confirms that. All right, let's move on from that to get to the top 5 defensive grades. Say, probably not a stunner here for a lot of people, but let's talk about it. If you're a Detroit Lions fan who's endured the last few seasons, you're probably real happy with these. Amik Robertson led the way with 87.4. That's incredibly high, especially compared to Detroit Lions standards in the secondary. Let's also remember that when he was with the Raiders last year, I want to say his season grade, gosh, I want to say it was like around a 95. So this is actually below that, but for Lions standards, it's through the roof. So keep that in mind. All right, linebacker Mitchell. Oh boy, I always kill his last name. Oige, 81.5. So again, another good one. Rakestraw, the rookie, 80.3. Nate Lynn, defensive end, in case you don't know who Nate the Great is. Let's see, 78.5. And then Brandon Joseph. You guys, I know I did some videos on him during rookie OTAs and everything. But again, when I watch him flash on film, when I watch his closing speed, his ability to read and react, predict where the ball is going, he showed more of that against the Giants during workouts, and then he confirmed it in the game against them. He got a 78.3. So I really think if you were going to ask me right now, I am now putting Brandon Joseph on this team on the 53-man roster. John Ross, I like too, but I also get him and Joseph are so similar. You're splitting hairs. I get why the Lions moved off of the ladder. Joseph, I think he's going to be one of the safeties playing on this team. The kid, talk about a Cinderella story from where he's come from to his chances of making an NFL roster to now what he's actually doing out there. Yeah, I like this kid a lot. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll all talk about that. All right, now let's go to, unfortunately, the bottom 5 grades for the defense. And yeah, if you know me and if you've watched this channel for more than 22 seconds, you probably know I am a huge James Houston fan. And unfortunately, these are not the grades James Houston wants to be associated with. James Houston, my boy, got a 28 as an outside linebacker. And you guys all know it. MCDC wants this guy to grow, evolve, not just be a pass rush specialist. On end, he's got to be the Sam linebacker, and he's going through some struggles. If you remember his rookie year, by the end of the season, they did have him playing a lot of Sam spots for him, including that game where he beat Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, the final game of the season. He was the starting outside or Sam linebacker in that situation or that game. He did drop into coverage a lot, did a lot of different things. They did not just use him as a rush end. So it's not a strength. There are a lot of weaknesses. He's going to have to show up better in the run game than he did in Thursday. And it's unfortunate for me, but I got to be as honest and upfront when I watch things and not just a fan. James Houston's got some work to do. Him and Matthew Betts both were asked to do the same positions. Betts basically throughout the second half. I think they both have got a real uphill battle to win that spot or to just get significant minutes or snaps at those positions. Even though there was a lot of good with this next one, Mekhi Wingo, he's a rookie, I get it, but his grades were not great either. 28.3, so not much better than Houston. To me, when I watched him, I think it's more when we talked a lot about the Giants' ability to run the game or run the ball against us. So when you watched Wingo, when you watched Broderick Martin on tape afterwards, here's what I saw. Too many of these guys, and these are coachable things that will be cleaned up fairly quickly, I would assume. Too many guys rushing the same lanes. So you have defensive end and tackle both rushing into each other. What's that do? That puts a big gap for a mobile quarterback to run through. We saw some of that last year, definitely the year before with that in the Detroit Lions. You're going to have that cleaned up. Otherwise, you are going to have mobile quarterbacks expose that. The Giants did a little bit here and there, but for some of the backup guys, you got to have gap integrity, especially from your interior tackles, because those are going to be the primary rush lanes for a mobile quarterback. So they clean that up. I think you'll have a lot more success there. Ron Gilbert was next, linebacker at a 40.9. Maurice Norris Jr., cornerback, 42.1. Defensive tackle Chris Smith, 42.5. All right, run blockers. Here we go. Dan Skipper, outstanding score, 91.6. Duke Clements, the backup center, 89.8. And then Connor Galvin, it stinks that he got hurt, man, especially later in the game, 80.4. So the good thing is 2 of those guys are backups. They're sound. Again, I'm hoping Clemens can move to guard if need be. We have seen Skipper do that in past seasons. So perhaps those guys can help out there. Top pass rushing grades, and then we'll be all done here. Nate Lynn, 84.9. Broderick Martin, I know, hey, we've been talking about this guy. Has he improved? According to the stats, he has 72.7. And then Mitchell Boy, I kill his name again. Agade, 66.2. So all those guys, some good stuff. That's what I got for you guys as far as the pro football focus grades. Now, without further ado, let's get over the Duke Crew and see what you guys all have to say and get through it and into it. If you guys have any thoughts, throw them in there. Again, one thing I'm going to tell you guys, if somebody starts dominating the chat, I'm just going to kind of move on from them. I'm not going to read their comments just so we can include as many people as possible. All right, JDC, good morning all. Good morning to you too. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. What? Question mark. Me worry, exclamation point. I see Super Bowl. Woo! And good morning to you too. And just for you. Hex yes. All right, Stephanie, good morning, boys. Sleeping in while listening in today. Got a day off and no kids, so I'm taking advantage of it. Well, enjoy your day off there. Say, and good morning to you, Steph. Let's see, Burger Time. Good morning, Dan of the Duke Crew. We are getting closer to this season. Woo! Unfinished business. Agreed. And thanks for all you do, Burger Time. AJ, good. Hey, all. Good morning. Good morning to you too. Detroit D, exclamation points. Greetings and salutations to everyone. I'm at work, ready to listen in. PFF nonsense about the game. Yeah, listen in. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not going to say I agree with everything they say, but it's at least something for us to debate. There's probably some truth to it, some not truth to it, but go with it from there. And hey, have a good day at work. A Bo, who is 45? Off the top of my head, I don't know. Hopefully somebody can throw it in the comment section. Clark, laughing out loud. I'm with you, Detroit D. Not sure I enjoy PFF stuff, but hey, it's something to talk about. Agreed. Yeah, 100%. It's just something to try to, marinate in. See, Eddie, greetings and salutations all. I'm thinking most of the rookies will grade out well from that game. After that, I don't know. Suggs has to be one of the lowest graded players. Yeah, and he was, man. There was not much lower than him other than, unfortunately, James Houston. But I think Houston will, if he really wants to be an NFL player and not just a specialist, he's going to have to put in the work to stop the running, help out in the running defense and also some coverage. He's going to have to make the move to linebacker more and more. He just doesn't have the mass to be a full-time defensive end, unfortunately. All right, Jesse, good morning all. Hey, Coach Dan, can we take these grades and compare them to next week's grades? That would show if the players are improving. Yeah, we can do that. I'll take down some notes and try to keep a record of them. All right, Frank Tank, good morning. Duke Crew, woo, woo, woo. Go Lions, 100%. And good morning to you too, Tank. Tank, there was no reason why the Detroit Lions looked bad in preseason. It was all quarterback play. Defense played well. Only game of 14 points. Yeah, and I'm not complaining with anything from the weather conditions, what we didn't want to show, the quarterback position. Hey, all I want to see is guys stay healthy, one, and then keep progressing upwards. You are seeing a lot of teams lose players for the season this year, and it happens every year. You look at yesterday's preseason games, and this morning when I got up, you saw all the notes about this guy, was at the hospital, this guy's out for the season. Unfortunately, football can be a very unforgiving sport. Say, Darcy, good morning, everyone. I like the fact we have a week between preseason games to develop more O&D while growing some of these athletes. Agreed with that. That's really, to me, all the preseason games are about. You get an opportunity to evaluate and grow the developmental players, the backup players. Darcy, who makes the bigger improvement versus Casey? Man, I'm hoping James Houston and Nate Sudfeld, because that would help with a lot of things. That's just my opinion. And I am a Houston homer. Bo, Houston seemed to have a lot of responsibilities more than just rushing the quarterback. And that's where I would agree with that, Bo. You're talking about why his grades aren't that great. I think a lot of it is the coaches are putting him in the line of fire. We believe in you, but you're going to have to do this. How much can he improve in 1 month of these responsibilities? I can't say. It's all on his shoulders. And from what you're saying, if you watch the film, they've got him all over the place. They are throwing so much at him. But from me as a coach, I love that. If you're a player and I'm doing that to you, that means I believe in you. That means I believe you can make that jump. And if you make that jump, you're going to be a home run for us. All right, let's see. Frank, Fuzzy Bears got to be having a party right now. The Bears men's scored points left and right. Just remember, Fuzzy Detroit Lions were 4-0 in the preseason, in the regular season, and 0-16. Yeah. I get you there, man. The Bears, they had some good stuff, sort of like the Minnesota Vikings, but what you do in the preseason really doesn't impact the regular season a ton. All right, Brent, good morning, everyone. Lombardi and no bust. Oh, yeah. Good morning to you too, Brent. Trey, what's good, everyone? Question mark. Yes, Bo Booth, I'm with you on James Houston. In your opinion, that's a good sign for Houston. He played a lot as the Sam, and then in the second half, the coaches had Betts do the same. Yeah, and Betts, he did make some plays, especially in the second half when it was mostly, I would say at that point, third stringers for the Giants. How both guys do, I don't know, but I want to see what they do from that first week, second week to the third week, and then hey, can they make the roster? Can they get on to the into meaningful snaps in the regular season game? Matthew, greetings and salutations. Good morning, everyone. Superdome, Super Bowl, woo, 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 and good morning to you, and just for you. 100%, my friend, 100%. See, Matthew, good morning, Berg time. Frank the Tank, I like the way the two rookie corners played. Sits on the two. If Brad Holmes hits on these two kids, cornerback will be epic. Yeah, you look at both of them, Frank, and I think you're spot on. Both of them played very well. Both of them have strong upside. Now, if you get in some of the other guys, like Brandon Joseph, who's very young, Iffy's still very young, Kirby's still very young, you could start setting up the framework. And, oh, man, I almost forgot Brian Branch. Brian Branch is still very young, too. But you start setting up the framework for a very good, young, and aggressive secondary for the Detroit Lions for years to come. Friends, good evening or good afternoon, all. Hey, real quick, non-Lions shout-out. Congrats to Team USA men's basketball and the women's soccer team, both winning gold. Yeah, real strong stuff. I'm not as big a soccer fan, at least watching it. I don't never minded coaching it or playing it. Watching it, though, just it doesn't always draw my attention as much. Jen loves it. But I will say this, from watching it a little bit, some of those saves by the U.S. goalie, man, that was impressive. I mean, one-handed jump dives, just batting the ball. The difference between gold medal and basically losing that game were really just a couple hand placements defending the gold. In regards to the U.S. men's basketball team, obviously I've coached basketball for 35 years and at different levels. What they did last night I thought was dang impressive. Remember, with the U.S. team, unlike the vast majority of the national teams across the planet, the U.S. team is just thrown together in like 4 to 5 weeks and before they're playing the games that matter in the Olympics. These guys have very limited opportunity to gel, get to know any kind of structure on offense or defense. I mean, they're just out there playing. So you could see every week how much they've improved. What Steph Curry did in that last, whatever it was, 3 minutes, I mean, that's just the stuff of legends. To watch a guy like him shoot consistently from three over 6'10", 7'2" dudes and just popping them like that. I mean, I get it's not Lion stuff, but I'm with you, man. That was just that had a lot of wow factor. And congrats to Team USA. All right, Frank the Tank, Dan the Man, tell us about your master plan, best podcast show out there. Well, thanks, man. I mean, I just come out here and do whatever I do, man. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. And we all seem to have a pretty good symbiotic relationship between both sides, what I do here and what you guys contribute to the show. So just keep the good show going and enjoying the Lions football, hopefully. See, Lions fan number one, loving me a Sunday morning with a little Lions Talk Live, coffee and breakfast. Come on and bring me Rams. All right, we'll bring you the Rams in about 4 weeks, maybe a little less than that. Bo, Trey, yes, that's what it looks like. I agreed with that. Yeah, they're putting James Houston through a workout over there. Amy, good morning. Dan, the Duke crew, exclamation point. I hope everyone is enjoying their Sunday. Go Lions, 100%, Amy. Hopefully having a great day and hopefully had a great weekend. Matthew, no worries about Pro Football Focus. They are only a gauge and not always accurate one. I like that they are putting more on Houston's plate. Needs to become a complete player. Yeah, if he can evolve over there, the question I would have then is who do you take out of the linebacker spots? Now, if you're going to really be blitzing all the time, I get why you want James Houston in there, especially containing more mobile quarterbacks. It's going to be real hard to find a linebacker more athletic than James Houston, especially with the closing speed. To that being also said, you look at the linebacker room, you got Rodrigo, you got Alex Anzalone, you got Derek Barnes, you got who else? Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell. There we go. So not everybody can be out at the same time, I would think, but who knows? But the good part is, if you're a Detroit Lions fan, your depth at those positions is through the roof now. Say Quentin Green, salutations, y'all. Grades don't mean a thing if you guys don't improve. And to me, I see a lot of guys that need that improvement. Yeah, I would agree with that, especially in the preseason games. I know I talked about it before. To me, that's what they're all about: getting that improvement, getting that continuity going, get everybody on the same page. So I agree with that, Quentin. See, Bo, I saw the quarterback hit Houston put on from a zone drop position. That reminds me of how he hit Fields. Yeah, and that's what he does well. His rush, his burst, his ability to bend, we all get it through the roof. And yes, at times you can play him at defensive end and just tell him, hey, it's second long, it's third and long, go get the quarterback. And perhaps that's what they'll do. But the more you can do in any sport, the more positions you can play, the more opportunity you have to be on the field, get snaps, and impact the game. Voltron Force, Lions Talk Live, and a little woo-hoo coffee. All right, good morning to you too. Hopefully you enjoy that coffee. Dave, who cares? Question mark. The game was for film only. Yeah, and I think that's what they're saying, Dave, is, hey, based on the film, here's the grades. Here's how these guys performed. Now, I don't remember who said it earlier in the show, but can we take those grades and I'll apply them versus week 2 and week 3 and see any kind of trends that emerge? So that's where I think they're going with it. See, Steve Rogers, good morning, all. Hey, Coach Dan, I watch a lot of other Lions content guys. I just wanted to say thank you for all you do for the fan base. I do believe you are one of the best channels on YouTube. Oh, thanks for that, man. Thanks. We're really blessed as far as the YouTube community. There are a ton of great content creators. I know when I started, roughly 2 years ago, it seems like the amount of content creators has gone up by a factor of 500, maybe 1,000. There's just a ton of them out there. And it's just, we should all be thankful that there are so many people that are that big into the fans, being a fan of the Lions. They're willing to put in their time to create this stuff. So I go through and I watch other guys. I'm impressed with a lot of the stuff. There's some people that have, just great skills when it comes to making the thumbnails or the graphics, or just, getting in a good conversation about things. So be thankful for it, because it is a great time. It is the golden era in Lions history, really, at least over the last 30 years. So hopefully everybody just embraces it, enjoys it, and remembers to, be kind to those people that give up so much of their time to make this stuff for you guys. For all of us, actually. Martin doing his Deshaun Hand impressions. Yeah, I liked Martin, what I saw on tape. There's still areas that definitely affect and improve with him, but from where he was a year ago, you can see noticeable improvement. So small, it's nice to get a game next Saturday. I have that and Sunday off. You got the weekend off, man. Hey, go enjoy next weekend's game, kick back, relax, and then go do whatever you want to do on Sunday. See, Hookadoo, good morning, Coach of the New Crew. Woo! Good morning to you too, Hooks. Always good to see you in the channel. See, Patrick Green, salutations, Coach and New Crew. Coach, I hope your coaching things went well yesterday. They did, man. They did. I won't be worried about the Lions unless they start losing 2 or 3 games in a row. Then I'll get concerned. 100%, man. Yeah, 100%. Obviously the NFL is unlike almost any other sport in that the impact of every game is so big on a team. The difference between making the playoffs or getting a top seed or winning a division typically is only 1 or 2 games. Because there are a limited amount. It's not like baseball or the NBA or NHL where there's just so many games. The value of each game is now kind of reduced. The NFL is quite different and unique in that respect. So I'm with you on that, Patrick. We're going to do Burger top of the morning. Go Lions, 100% to both of you. Let's see, Patrick, in the regular season, I'm not concerned about the preseason. Correct. Yeah, preseason, I'm not worried about wins or losses. Phil, the best show 7 days per week. Stock tips, coaching tips, house car, and Mountain Dew tips, especially on the Mountain Dew tips. Let me tell you, half diet, half regular from a fountain. Hey, take it, especially if you can get it from a Circle K. Phil, I'm a bit worried about the season. Something seems a bit off to me. Let's hope not. Let's hope that we can rest your worries. Ken, G to you too there, Ken. Let's see, Bo. Phil, are you a little bit off today? We'll have to wait and see what he says. See, Motown Greens, salutations, Dew Crew, back at you. Phil, usually, hey, there's your answer. Good Greens, salutations to Texas. Well, don't mess with Texas, man. Lone Star Beer, remember that one. Let's see, Kurt, what up, though? What up to you, too? Man, Kurt, you're going from one state that gets pounded from from hurricanes to another one that gets pounded from hurricanes. So hopefully you're doing well, man. Burger time. Let's see. Good morning, Matthew Grace, and good morning, Hookadoo. Good morning to all. See, Bo, name that tune. All right, we'll do that. Let's see. Courtney, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Back at you. Phil, in fact, I'm off all week on vacation. Well, enjoy your vacation, my friend. Buddy, good morning, Duke Crew. Good morning, buddy. Hopefully you're having an outstanding one. Brent, another great looking guitar. Phil, yes, Phil does great work. If you can see it in the pictures. Yeah, the guy is truly skilled with that. Let's see, Brent, good. Another great looking guitar, Phil. Is that the Tree of Destiny on it? Hey, maybe he's making one for Jason. There you go. See, Burger time. Let's go, Lions. Woo! See, Bo, 5FDP. All right, I'm not sure what that means, but I'll go with it. See, Phil, yes, the Tree of Greatness used a wood burner to do that. That's pretty awesome, man. That's really good stuff. See, Ken, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Super Bowl, no bust, one pride. Woo! I'll go with that. Burger time, 13-4. All right. Bo, 14-3. I like both of those scores, or both those record predictions. Derek, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. How much do you think the Lions are willing to pay another backup quarterback? That is an outstanding question, Derek. My assumption is, and let's just, the monkey in the room, whatever you want to say, the elephant on the back or whatever it is. Let's say they really do go for Ryan Tannehill. My guess is he's probably getting $5 to $8 million a season, maybe more, man. Because somebody's going to pay him to come on in just to have that insurance. If I'm the Lions, then I really think, one, I've got the cap. Two, I've got a roster that I think can compete. You want to be proactive in getting a player like that because there's going to be very few legitimate backup quarterbacks available in free agency that can help augment a team's future, win games or whatever. So if it's me, if I really think he's there and I can afford him, it's not going to kill me, 1-year contract, and I'm probably giving him maybe $8 to $10 million a year just to get him. I could be wrong. Maybe the numbers are lower, but that would be my anticipation because you're going to have multiple teams trying to acquire that rare commodity. All right, Patrick, I still think the Lions win-loss record will be 15-2. I'll go with that, man. And yeah, I will be celebrating if we have that kind of record. See, Phil, Dan, are the changes in basketball a good thing? I'm a more traditional game fan. I guess it depends on what you mean by the changes as far as like the offenses and stuff. I've been coaching, I guess, basketball like a run-and-shoot offense for over 30 years. And what that means, if you guys are old enough to remember Loyola Marymount in the late 80s, one of the bigger influences on my coaching career was actually Paul Westphal. So met him, I think I've told you guys the story before, went out, worked one of his camps, somewhere in the early 90s, something like that. Met him at a bar, kept going to the bar over and over until eventually talked for hours. He gave me his philosophies on stuff and went through it. And long story short, that's the kind of offense I've run forever. When I've coached overseas, I still remember the first time I coached in China, and they gave me a week to prepare a team just to test me out and have me get used to some of their nuances of basketball and stuff. And we scored like 175 points in that first game. And you would have thought I cured cancer or something. I had everybody sending, people from different, basically their version of the NBA, people over to talk because I'm just a scout, but they wanted me to do some coaching. And yeah, you would have thought it. I was like the hottest commodity ever. I got so much free Mountain Dew that week, let me tell you. And that's just how I coach, man. To me, I think it's more fan-friendly. Players enjoy that system. It seems like more and more because everybody gets touches, everybody gets shots. You're not relying on 1 or 2 or 3 dominant players. You're relying on, I guess, the beehive mentality. So that's how I do it in basketball. Like last year at Paw Paw, you're talking just the high school level. We had tons of games. We would score the 80s or 90s, 4, 5, 6 people scoring in double figures. So from a defensive standpoint, it makes it very difficult to focus on or shut down or limit 1 or 2 people because everybody's shooting. So hopefully that helps, man. Patrick, opinions are like, yes, everybody's got one. 100% with that. I agree with that. Hopefully you've got one. Derek, I would be happy with 13-4. Me too, man. I would take that. Patrick, hold as that is. We'll go with that. Phil, Lions record 12-5. All right, I'll take that. Burger time, laughing out loud. Patrick, all right there. Patrick, all right. Patrick, yes, correct. Let's see, Ken, 13 and 15 wins. They will be assassins this year. Punks like the Giants will pay. Yes, they will. I agree with that, especially when you get to the regular season. Brent, 16 and 4. The hoisting Lombardi Trophy! Exclamation point. Oh yeah, and I'll go with that. Patrick, Courtney, 15 and 2, and home field advantage, silver and Honolulu Blues confetti and snow angels done by Hutch and Noel. There you go. Let's see, Phil. Why does Dan and Brad hang on to those mid backup quarterbacks? That is a great question, Phil, and I don't know because whether it's Boyle or Suffield, I will look at them and I go, man, these guys are very limited from a professional standpoint. How they are still here on the team, I don't know, man. And it is a great question. Bird time, Ken, don't worry about the Giants. They are irrelevant basement dwellers. I'll go with that. John says 11 and 6 will be our record. Willard, what do you think about Blaine Gabbert? We can get him at a discount. It is a possibility. My question is, other than being a veteran, will he be a big enough upgrade? Do you believe if Goff goes down that Blaine is winning games for you? That's I think the question to me. And I'm not going to say who they should sign. I don't know. I haven't done enough research on the available options, but I would have some questions about any of them until I get assured from watching the film, watching the video, see who would fit our system the best. Kurt, what do you got? People are losing their minds over preseason performances. Laughing out loud. You're not wrong on that, my friend. You're not wrong at all. See, Bo, turn the beast around. Sounding good, coach. Hey, there we go. I'll go with that. Turn that beat around. I like that. All right. See, Derek, good offensive linemen are so rare. I think we are willing to put up with some attitude. I agree with that. I think they feel like they can get the best out of Jones, and Jones does have some ability. Is he going to be a starter? Probably not. Hopefully not. But can he be a sound backup and provide more depth on the O-line? That's where I think they may have got a good deal here. See, Bo, backups, we're talking about backups. Yes, that's how far the Lions have come around. We are now debating backup players. See, Burger time, yep, the Fudge Packers, I hate Green Bay. Yes, agreed. Hutch Jr., morning, boys. Morning, Junior. How you doing, Hutch? See, Ken, so Packers had to play the starters in a preseason game. You did see some teams do that yesterday, to be fair, and I think there are some teams that will continue to do that. See, Kurt, let's see, Bo Booth, exactly. Burger time, exactly, Kurt Steele. It's preseason, people. Pump the brakes. I agree with that. See, Mike the Marine, Gunny. Howdy, Dan and Duke crew. Woo! Howdy to you too, Gunny. Hopefully I'm a good one. Hookadoo, good morning, Coach, Dan, and the Duke crew. All to the above. Thank you, Steve. Hopefully you have an outstanding morning. Bo, is it possible Suds at a negative 38? I would have probably put him in the negative, to be honest. It's just some of the basic reads he wasn't making on time. That's the problem. And I get the Giants blitzed a ton to the point I want to say MCDC made some sort of comment. He was less than happy about it. But hey, it's preseason. They're working on their stuff. You're working on your stuff. You don't like it, beat it. That would be my response as a coach. So I don't besiege or get upset about the fact the Giants blitzed, like whatever it was, 70% of the time. Lions clearly weren't prepared for it. Neither was their offensive line. But that's what preseason's all about. See, Steve, 16-5 will be the total record win the Super Bowl win. I'll take that. I'm going to hold you to it, my friend. Let's see, Kurt, Lions were preseason champs and then went 0-16. They were. They did get the trophy that didn't matter before the trophy they didn't want. Let's see, Anthony, good morning, Duke crew, back at you. Bo, Ken points out Green Bay using starters in a preseason game. Yeah, there were a couple teams that did it. And, hey, it's just coaching philosophy. We all know that Kansas City does it. I think at least the first game. I don't know if they do it beyond that. But some coaches say, hey, I'm going to have my team as ready as possible for that regular season. Yes, we could lose somebody to injury. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It just comes down to coaching philosophy. Me, myself, what I would do if I was the coach, probably the first two series of the first preseason game, I do have the starters out there just to get some continuity. Yes, you run the risk of injury. The second preseason game, I probably have it one series. The third preseason game, one series, and that's about it. See, Anthony, I'm not concerned with the preseason games other than evaluating our depth. I agree with you 100% on that, Anthony, and thanks for all you do for the show, by the way. See, Burger Time, good morning, Anthony. There you go. Derek, I'm still concerned about our wide receiver room. if J-Mo or Saint goes down for any significant amount of time, we will probably miss the playoffs. It would put some stress on some other players. I was at least somewhat encouraged by a few of the wide receivers. It was just hard to really watch prolonged offensive drives because Sudfield didn't do anything for us. Hooker did a little bit for us before he went out. By the way, I was thinking about doing a breaking news video on Hooker, but maybe I still will later today. But I will tell you this right now. It sounds like Hooker is going to be fine to play next Saturday. All right, see, Anthony, hello, and a big hello, Mr. Steele. I'll go with that. See, buddy, preseason is meant to evaluate players for backup roles. Most of the players in the games will not make a 53-man roster. I agree with that, 100%. See, Bo, you can't have all-pro backups. We could want them. Doesn't mean you're going to get them, though. Anthony, good morning, brother. Duke Crew, brother Duke Crew, brother. There we go. Hookadoo, good morning, Anthony. Bo, offensive weapon skipper, and that's really what he was. He did get a very high grade. See, Anthony, morning, brother, Hookadoo. Silver Surfer, good morning, coach, and everyone else. Back at you, Surfer. Hopefully not a great one. 9 Drinks, good morning, all. Woo! Just for you. You know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to give you a Sheila. Yes, indeed. All right. Lions, let's see. Burger Time, good morning, Silver Surfer. Phil, Houston may not make the team. I think he will. That's just me, myself, and I. But I think it's a strong indication to me that they have some belief in him to keep throwing that much new material at him. I want to see really how Houston progresses this preseason as the Sam. See, Burger Time, Isaac, boy, I'm killing that last name, so I'm not even try it. But yes, he had a good showing as well. See, Robert, good morning, all doers. There you go, Robert. Have a great morning. Trey, hey, haven't seen you in a minute, man. Hopefully you're having a good one. Trey, what do you got? Rise and shine to the Duke Crew. I liked what I seen from the rookies during the game. Didn't get a chance to check out Hooker, but what I seen and heard is that he moved the ball. Yeah, a lot better. He did. He's got a lot of rookie quarterback stuff he's got to clean up, but that's what these preseason games are for. I really hope, from the bottom of my heart, they just let Hooker play the entire preseason game Saturday, unless, hey, they just get to the point we've seen enough, put in, Nate Sudfeld, and I probably do that the last preseason game too. Give that dude every opportunity to go through the reads, work on sliding, just the mechanical stuff that he doesn't currently have beat down. Plus, give him an opportunity to get to the point where he's no longer so hyped to play in these games, that he just kind of calms down. That's where I think you'll see another big jump out of him too. Let's see. Michael, Houston will have a problem. We have a problem. We do have the problem, and let's hope he keeps evolving as the Sam. See, Trey, with Hooker in the game, yeah, I knew where you were going with that, man. Here's Johnny, to do not to do. There you go. See, Michael, woo! Greens citations back at you. Bo, here's Johnny, to Surfer and the sling and arrows of outrageous fortune. All right. Here's Johnny laughing. Surfer, hope they find a way for Houston. I think they will, man. But to me, again, not to beat a dead horse, to me it's a good sign they're putting so much on his plate. But he does need to make significant improvement in those areas to keep that faith in him. Michael, what do you got? Greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Super Bowl or a bust, one pride. Woo, woo. Good morning to you too. Ken, did I hear that Bears started players too? They did, man. They did. And to me, when teams do that, again, I've already talked about it, so I'll move on from it, but just coaching stance. See, Big Daz, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Back at you. Phil, Betts will make the team. That's where I'd have a little bit more of a question. Now, this next game, if he's now playing in the first half, that would probably be a stronger sign for Matthew Betts, in my opinion. See, Broski, good morning, Dan, the Duke Crew. Any updates on potential signings, backup quarterback in particular? I don't think, Broski, we're going to hear anything about that until right about the start of the final week of preseason. Somewhere right around there. Mike the Marine Gunny, hit thumbs up. Do it for Dan. Woo! Yeah, if you guys can, if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Also hit that thumbs up button. We've got a little over 500 people watching. Let's see if we can get, 500 thumbs up. Thomas, until further notice, I will not watch a sporting event that promotes natural. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Fair enough. Illy, what do you got? Good morning. Woo! All the highly drafted rookie quarterbacks looked good yesterday. Caleb was the only one that played against defensive starters. NFC North will be toughest division in the NFL. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I'm not going to say we will be the best division, but it's going to definitely be in the running. So I agree with you there. Let's see, politics not here. Agreed. Yeah, keep politics out of the channel. Let's see, what do you got? Yo, Mike, good morning from the Mason mob. Love and respect. Same to you. Hopefully you're having a great morning, my friend. Thomas, as far as Lions in preseason, we need to stop going for it so much on fourth down with a struggling kicker. Get him reps. Yeah, the good thing is the one shot he got was a massive shot. So I'll wait and see on that one. Detroit D, I like what I seen out of Mark. Me too, man. You could see significant development from last year to week one there. I really think, and I know I've been on his bandwagon too. I really think we've got something brewing there with him. Mekhi Wingo. There's a lot of guys like that the Lions bring in that just need time to mold, and these guys seem to be getting it. Williams was brought in for a very specific reason in the coaching department because this is really a strength. I think we could see some massive returns on these guys, especially if you're talking by the middle of the regular season. Thomas, also, let's not worry too much about the preseason games. Young players need to play, and if you watch that game, we did not play the win. We will play to get reps for certain people. Yeah, and to be basically all they were doing with the game, in my opinion, is just using it as a learning opportunity for a lot of these guys. So I agree. Robert Broski, when the Bears cut Caleb, Detroit could sign him for our third string or fourth string. There we go. All right, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Big Daz, your show is great. No, we all make it great. It's not my show. It's our show. So keep that in mind. Phil, there is no one better than Coach Dan. Hey, thanks for that. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Let's see, Thomas, I am a tad concerned with our backup interior offensive line. I am too, a little bit. We've always had a problem with that since Coach Campbell has been there. Why is that when we have one of the best offensive line coaches? I think a lot of it is just we're taking guys that need time to grow and develop. Scoresdale, the good thing is you didn't see him on the bottom list nor on the high list. He was somewhere in the middle. He was kind of meh. Can he play guard? Sure. Can Yodi play guard? Absolutely. And I didn't think he actually did a bad job last year. So some of these guys will move around or get flexed to guard. When that happens, I think that will probably help our overall performances on the field. But you're going to have to wait and see. The nice part is, as tackles, we seem to have pretty good depth at the tackle positions. Now, can some of them, like I said, rotate into guard? Our backup center is off the chart. And I will say this. He might be one of the better backup centers in the league. Karen, what do you got? As a Vikes fan, cheers to a great upcoming season. Don't worry too much about the stats. Y'all will ball out. The Lions are legit. Let's hope so, man. And, let's hope you guys have a good season, except when you play the Lions. All right, Robert, see, Broski, what do you got? Robert Yankee, that's an interesting take. I'll go with that. Yep. Phil, are the Lions hiding their good plays from the rest of the league? Yeah, right now, the preseason, in any sport, you're not really showing a whole lot. You don't want people to have film on it. Football coaches are through the roof, trying to be super secret with stuff. They're going to do everything they can to throw misdirection at you. So a lot of the plays that we're showing now in the preseason, they won't even be in the regular season playbook. I'd see Bo, 5 fingers, death punch, little bit off today. It happens, man. It happens. Let's see, Broski, with Reader out, who is currently starting at defensive tackle next to McNeil? My guess is it's probably going to be Levi. That's my assumption. Let's see, Broski, shout out Hank Gathers. All right. Yes. Yeah. Hank Gathers. Man, that is going back to, Loyola Marymount. See, Thomas, gentlemen, we've got 2 quarterbacks in the system now for a minimum 2 years. What does anybody think is going to happen with a quarterback just coming out into the system? 2 weeks, get real. It depends on the quarterback, but most NFL veterans, if you were able to get them, let's say, a week before the regular season, and then you really don't anticipate playing them until week 3, they should have the terminology and stuff down by that point. But I do get what you're saying there, that, it would take time to get them on board. I guess no belief in Hooker. I think he could be a good number 2 quarterback. No, I do too. I think, in time, Karen, that can be, just needs to give him time to grow and develop like any rookie quarterback. Because to me, that's really what he is a rookie. See, Patrick Thomas Donner, I agree with you. I agreed with both of you. See, Broski, was Zettler out, who is currently starting at right guard? I think it's changing on a week-to-week basis, although it does sound like Zettler's injury is not significant at all. He might even be back this week, if not the following week. Let's see, Michael, Lions surrounded Goff with good players. If Goff gets hurt, it's a fluke. Yes, and let's Goff. I don't want to say anything about it just because I hate talking about stuff like that. But one thing you can say throughout his history is he is available to play. Let's see, Thomas Donner, I disagree with you. Okay, Miles Marker, Jen Samus, you're awesome, Dan. Keep up the great work building the community. So proud of you. Thanks, babe. Thanks very much. And yeah, good to see you in the chat this morning. See, Broski, do the Lions keep a defensive, tight end on the roster who is a blocking specialist or a blocking tight end? You know, that's a good question there, Broski. I think they could and have them play multiple roles, sort of the blocking tight end or the H-back to fullback. I think it is a possibility. Kim, how about a few new rules to address bad officiating? You got to leave that to the league. You know, we can all come up with our desires about it. But one thing I can respectfully say to any official at any level is throughout the country, there is a massive shortage of people signing up to be an official. It's easy for us all to sit over here and say, hey, this should have happened or that should have happened. But let me tell you, I've officiated. It's not easy to make live calls. It's even harder when you have the potential that any call you make can get reviewed. So it's just tough. Without officials, you don't have games. You could go to, I guess, a robotic system that makes all the calls, and I don't think anybody's wanting that just right now. So until more people start showing up and putting in the work to become middle school officials, high school officials, then collegiate officials, up to professional, you got to work with the people you have because there's not 20 other people coming through that door. All right, see, Jen, good morning. Are you keeping Dan in line? Go Lions? Probably not. She's trying, but she's, hey, it's a work in progress. JDC, defense wins, quote, the big one. I'll take that. Bo, Sheila is the best. Love her. Woo! And laugh. Yeah, she does a good job with that. And that really is her woo and laugh. Let's see, Berg time. I hope everyone has a great week. Until next Saturday, go Lions. 1 week closer. Woo! 100% Berg time. Hopefully you have a great week, my friend. See, Michael, who came up with the rule that players cannot move on a kickoff? Laughing out loud. It's just, I want to say that it's the UFL that introduced this. Now, the NFL did make some adjustments to it, but the NFL was real close to just removing the kickoff. They didn't want to do that. The special teams coaches didn't want to do that. You'd be eliminating a lot of jobs from the coaching and players' standpoint. So they tried to work on a way to keep it around while reducing the potential for major injuries on kickoffs. So I guess it's the best they could come up with. Let's see, Broski Trade Fitness, good morning. There you go, Thomas. I absolutely wouldn't have starters play at least half in the preseason. Yeah, I'd get a couple reps in there, but hey, to each their own. Hookadoo, have a great week, Berg. There you go. Broski Bear, Phil, good morning. Miles Margaret, last year, Lions lost their first 2 preseason games. They brought in a few starters at the end of the third and then won it. It's about reps mostly. Yeah, 100%. Just about reps and learning. See, Jason, rookies look good. Another testament to Brad Holmes and the draft magic wizardry. Superdome or bust. I agree with that. I agree. Yeah, Holmes in the scouting department, again, looked like they've done well. Gary Hooker did okay for no action in 2 years. Yeah, and he's going to take a little time to just kind of get back into the flow of things. Gary Martin looked stronger and more confident. Yeah, and I get last year, my big complaint with him was anytime the ball snapped, he almost stood straight up. So he lost leverage instantly. You did not see that nearly as much. Still a little bit, but he's come a long way in 1 year. See, Thomas, if our defense does not rank total in the top 15 this year, it's time for Glenn to go. Yeah, he will be under a microscope because he does have talent this year. I can sympathize with him the last few years, especially a year ago when that secondary was just not very strong. The defensive line was, okay last year. Hutch, it was pretty good. But they did have a kind of a revolving door at different spots. This year, though, Thomas, I'm with you. He's got some weapons. I like Aaron Glenn. I think he's going to do real well. Now he's got to confirm that belief, though, with the product on the field. See, JDC, a little blue bash. There we go. Gary, 32 teams need backup offensive linemen. Hard to find. Yeah, agreed. So the ones you have and the ones we have, mostly are younger guys that need growth and development. I think we can get them there. Brosi, Jen Savage fit. Good morning. You're looking fit. She is very fit. Let me tell you, she works out every day significantly. See you, Bo. Happy trails, y'all. All done and dusted. See y'all tomorrow. See you, Bo. Have a good one. Phil, will Mosley be cut? No, he'll be put on the IR. My anticipation is he'll be back late November, early December. See, JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. Broski Bear, will Goff get any snaps next preseason game? I would say no, in my opinion. If so, how long will he be in the game? My guess is none of the starters play this entire preseason. That seems to be a Dan Campbell philosophy. See, Ken, keep working it, Jen. It only takes taking my wife 45 years to make it me the man I am today. She's a real blessing. Yes, and Jen keeps reminding me of the blessing she is. Thomas, I watched 4 different games, and I do not like the kickoff at all. Yeah, some people don't, man, and I'm neither here nor there on it. I just think, hey, it's here to stay probably for the foreseeable future. Phil, Mr. Bear, there you go, waving. JDC, Coach, are you doing a live during the next preseason game? Yeah, I'll do another live. Keep trying to work on it, involve it, improve it. Going to have a little bit bigger screen. Jen and I have even talked about putting a bigger screen in here that I can use for that, maybe even for trading purposes as well. Robert, when should Jason get the Tree of Destiny out? But that's a question only Jason can answer, but I am going to try to talk him into a live broadcast of the Tree of Destiny. See, buddy, great show, Coach. You guys make it great. Don't ever forget that, man. And thanks for that, buddy, by the way. Illian, what do you got? Did Dan play starters last preseason? He did not. He did not. At least, it seems to be the MCDC approach. We're going to keep the starters out of the preseason unless you're a rookie. The rookies he historically have played to get them snaps and try to get them ready. What I can also say is historically, that first regular season game, the first quarter doesn't seem to go so great as everybody's trying to get on the same page, trying to get meshed. So there's that. That would be the downside of it. But the other side of it is none of your starters can get hurt in the preseason. So, all right, guys, we'll go ahead and get out of here. It's been just over an hour. Hopefully you all enjoyed the show. If you did, please consider subscribing. Maybe hit that thumbs up button if you would. Also, last thing, if there is any kind of breaking news today, I'll get it over to you guys as quick as possible. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be kind to a stranger. Do something nice for somebody you don't know. And we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. See you guys later.